The Director of Special Projects and New Media of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Femi Fani-Kayode, says he has been granted administrative bail by the Department of State Service, DSS, after being grilled for 6 hours over comments bordering on coup allegations against the People's Democratic Party's candidate, Atiku Abubakar. Well, the Tinubu campaign spokesperson says his encounter with the DSS was grueling while describing their conduct as very professional. The former minister had earlier been accompanied by lawyers from the APC campaign to the DSS headquarters in Abuja. He's scheduled to return there on Wednesday.
I don't know whether it's true or not. I'm a lawyer, and I'm very careful with the words I use when I write, when I speak, so that I can defend myself. I said, if true, then A, B, C, D, E. Then I'm concerned. Could it be this? Could it be that? I asked a series of questions. I didn't make any assertions. Now, that's all. Now, despite that being clear in my mind and in the minds of millions of people, it was still appropriate, in my view, for the DSS to step into this, because they were also concerned that, listen, you said this, what's going on? Come and explain to us. It was a grueling experience, which I would not wish on my worst enemy. Because they are very thorough people.
All right, let's bring in Professor Udenta, who is the founding National Secretary for Alliance for Democracy. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, watching that, you were, well, the smile is still on your face.
It's still on my face.
Does that mean that we really should not take this serious? I mean, is that what you're saying? Or how grave, really, are these allegations, coming from Femi Fani-Kayode and, of course, the DSS invitation too?
I will get back to the first newsreel,
right.
The one that talked about the president, commissioning.
The
for
police equipment.
We'll definitely
it's very important.
We'll
get there.
Yeah, but
we'll get there. We're starting from this.
These things are tied together.
Great.
Okay.
Elections are platformed on two environments: the internal environment and the external environment. The internal environment is the preparedness of the electoral management body, INEC, to deliver on the day. How robust is a platform in terms of the beavers, electronic transmission, availability of both critical and non-critical materials and so on, deploying staff on time, how do you handle post-election issues? That's internal environment. The external environment is conditioned by security, which can take manifest dimensions, like you mentioned with the Fani invitation, with the Army Chief of Defense Staff talking and so on there. Part of that external environment has to do with the behavior of the political class, the behavior of the voters, electoral observers and electoral monitors. These are external to INEC, but they're very critical to the success of an electoral process. And if you take the security one, something tells me that once a matter goes to the DSS, just like in a law court, it becomes almost sub judice, not in legal terms, but in terms of security consideration. Fani-Kayode himself said it was a grueling experience for 6 hours. He wouldn't wish that on his worst enemy.
Right.
That means it was not a joke. So you have to allow the security agency to do their job. They invite him back, as he said, on Wednesday, and then take it up from there in order to distill the falsehood and something in between. That's a comment any sensible person or patron to make at this stage. But it's important for politicians to really take a step back and behave in a manner consistent with the expectations of the public and the country at this very crucial time. Second issue that comes straight to my mind is, how sudden has APC governors become so much involved with the politics of the Supreme Court? CBN announced that is very important for security, because whatever Supreme Court does has consequences.
Okay.
Those consequences, 5, 9, 7, 8 days to the election, could be very, very impactful. And now suddenly, 3 states APC, 4 more states APC, for the Supreme Court to weigh in the next 48 hours on a matter that could impact on the overall social fabric, on the overall behavior of voters, on the overall performance of the economy, and the overall direction of the national currency. That is very important, because if you take decision that it becomes inconsistent with the expectations of the public, the implication is that it would impact on the security environment. already you can see the chaos in the system. You can see the long lines at the filling station, you can see the long lines at the POS, long lines at ATMs, long lines in the banking, halls, people stripping naked, all under the watch of this APC government. And the governors are weighing in from APC side alone, not PDP, not APOGA, one party in power against the president of the same party, all together in an environment in which you have crisis in the northeast, you have conflict in the northwest, you have crisis in the southeast, you have crisis across the country, and suddenly the governors are behaving as if this policy didn't start 4 months ago. What are we looking at? The dying days, the home stretch of this campaign coming to an end that could upend the established social order, that could come with something that could disrupt the security arrangement already put in place by the agencies involved.
Now, the agencies involved here, I mean, internal security, the police, the military, and others. The president again has, for the umpteenth time, come to task them to ensure that this election is not only free and fair, but to secure the Nigerian space with the commissioning of new critical police assets, costing several billions of naira. Then you have the Chief of Defense Staff, General Irabo, say, look, Nigerians, go to sleep. Who will secure this country?
Even though he says that the military is overstretched.
That's the
defense
minister.
Yes, I'll give you my take quickly.
Yeah.
Official pontificating is different from practical reality. The president may mean well, and I believe he's a patriot. In 2014, we had substantially Boko Haram in the northeast to deal with. There was no election unless there was 2015. Post 2015, it was like bottled up in that Maghreb, flowing down from the Lake Chad into the uppermost northeast region of Nigeria. Today, we have terrorist bandits overrunning northwest. We have a lot of terrorist banditry too, and communal clashes and sectarian disputes in the north central. You have the franchises of IPOB and non-state actors and the non-government ravaging the southeast. You have oil bunkerers and oil thieves, the north and south. You have Yoruba nation agitators, their leaders still somewhere in Benin Republic, unraveling the fabric of the southwest. These are concrete realities that they can't wish away. And these are the things that will impinge on the election of 2023. So he can commission this equipment costing billions. If not commission something in Northwest, then a lot of people still there, hundreds of thousands of people still under kidnapped, abducted. Don't forget that the Chibok guests, some of them are not back. Dapchi guests, some of them are not back. Guests from Zamfara, from Katsina, from Sokoto, all of them kidnapping is still going on. So, in as much as it is important for the president to project strength through the police to say, we are ready, we must be mindful of this calamity under the watch of the APC. Secondly, when the Chief of Defense Staff talked about the Southeast, be at rest, relax, I came down from Enugu this morning. There was no violence in Enugu, but nobody came out. It's a lockdown. It can only, what he's talking about can only be meaningful and impactful if you expecting violence on the day. And the army is there to protect you with other military and paramilitary agencies. Assuming the fear has been built into the citizenry and they stay at home, they won't come out to vote. So whatever you do, they are not there for you to protect them because they are frightened already to their bonds.
So in other words, the picture that you paint is that, look, we have a recipe for disaster on our hands.
Oh, sure.
Especially against the backdrop when you hear El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, say for the up-till time that there is a cabal in the presidency that does not want, the APC to take over from the APC. He went ahead to say that, as a matter of fact, this same cabal don't want this democracy to thrive. There's a plan for an interim, national government.
Okay, we can pack
allegations.
Oh, yes. Part of that.
Let me land with this. Can we safely say that the specter of the military is no longer over our democracy? How safe is our democracy?
We can unpack some of these things here. El-Rufai was here on this studio, the different program, and I was here too. And I say his comments were embarrassing to the country and to himself. Because he is the chief policy strategist of the APC. He cannot take away the shell of a tortoise or a snail late in the day. 4 legacy parties formed APC. CPC led by Mohamed Buhari. He became president and commander-in-chief. AC led by Bola Tinubu, he became the leader of the party. Till today. El-Rufai, part of that infrastructure of the intellectual wing of the CPC, the policies, strategies, and the governor of Kaduna State. Uboniano, you remember him, Dr. Uboniano became this minister of science and technology, and Roger Okorocha, former governor of Imo State, a rump of Apuga, was very influential. This cast of fellows pretended the formation of this party. They are the one that ran the country for the past 8 years. They've selected Bola Tinubu as their candidate. Between Bola Tinubu and Muhammad Buhari, there's no difference. Between El-Rufai and Malami of the Attorney General, there's no difference. Between Akeredolu and Emefiele, there's no difference. They're just deceiving Nigerians. Because
in what way?
Because a party cannot revolt against itself. It becomes incoherent. The incoherence is the presidency is the APC presidency. The president is the APC president. The leader of the party is APC. The candidate of the party. The policy strategies that were formulated with the state governor, the policy swap is El-Rufai. So for you now not to embrace it means that the policy is chaotic, incoherent, it unraveling the social system and creating security concerns. That means I create a distance between me and my own government. A distance between me and my own president, between me and my own CPN, who was to run for the presidency. And the posters were everywhere. He's part of the APC. El-Rufai part of APC, all the governors going to court are part of APC. How come it is only within the APC, governing circles, that the whole issue of Naira swap has become an issue? And I ask you finally on this particular issue, I don't have the old currency. I don't know whether you have the old currency.
Well, I don't.
The problem is with the availability of the new. So somehow or the other, billions may well be somewhere. People are waiting to use the Supreme Court to dump it in their public system, say this money is not legal tender, because if I don't have it, you don't have it. The problem is where do we find the new? Not how to use the old, which you have 4 months to deposit in the banks. And we deposit them in the banks. But we can't find the new, which is very disruptive. So rather than the governors of the APC asking the Supreme Court to bring back something we don't have, they may have it, I don't know, in billions, possibly. We don't have it. I don't have it. You don't have it. Then it means that they want us to bring somewhere or the other, bring back into the system, into recirculation, something we don't have and we don't need. They should rather, as a party, as governing party, with the president, with the Attorney General, with the CBN governor, work at the means of producing much more new Naira currency and not find a way to deposit billions of this money. We don't know where they're coming from.
We don't know. I know that.
That's a good place to leave it.
All right. Professor Udenta, former Secretary.
Alliance for Democracy.
Alliance for Democracy. I don't know why Alliance never moved with the AC and then to form the APC.
Because Alliance was an ideological platform. APC is just a special purpose vehicle for power.
Thank you very much for coming on News.